rival, the Dungeon Rats and Godsfall present Tomb of Annihilation, Episode 4. Welcome to the jungle.
Previously on Tomb of Annihilation. Endreana, a wood elf ranger, Anastasia, a half-elf mage, and Mildrake, a dwarven paladin of Clangeddon Silverbeard, were summoned to Baldur's Gate by retired adventurer Sindra Sylvain. She was affected by the wasting curse that was slowly draining the life of anyone who had ever been raised from the dead. She gave each player a sack of 50 gold and promised their pick of one of her many magical weapons, armor, shields, and other wondrous items should they return to her with a cure. When they agreed, Sindra teleported all of them to Port Nyanzaru on the sandy shores of the dense tropical peninsula of Chult. The party set about finding guides for their journey and chose a pair of tabaxi named River Mist and Flask of Wine. During their search, they met a half-elf named Zindala, who was accompanied by her pseudo-dragon familiar, Summerwise. She begged the players to take her along as well, as she was desperate to find her father, who had vanished into the jungle with a reptilian man many days prior. After gathering supplies and getting a good night's rest, the party set off the next morning, traveling south on the Tarakai River in a pair of very fine canoes.
Trust me, you're going to thank us for staying on this river as long as we did. So many things in that jungle.
I do not like this at all.
Brain-eating
I'd rather
parasites, flesh-eating bugs. Trust me.
I have chainmail. I'll be fine.
Most of the day goes relatively peacefully. The water is quiet. There's sounds in the jungle, strange sounds that come out at all times, some grunts, some calls, some cackles, but it's all kind of thick and muted and deep. And it just gets hotter and hotter as the day drags on and storm clouds begin to form. About 3 hours before the sun sets, you'd say. So about halfway through your day's journey.
While we're on the canoe, start readying the rain flap.
When the storms come down heavy, and the tabaxi would tell you this, but when the storms come down heavy, these canoes will be swamped quickly. So if it really pours down, it's good to get to the shore.
Yes, I say we press on.
Press on until it looks bad.
All right. As you're pressing on, the skies do open up, and it begins raining. Not super heavy, and it's actually kind of pleasant, as hot as it's been.
Yes.
Steam's rising off the river all around you, and it's relatively easy to set. It's just like a tarp,
Yeah.
and then some wooden legs, and it just drains, and it can capture like a gallon an hour. So you very, very quickly fill up your water skins again, and you guys are tapped off. And you are drinking a lot of water because you are sweating continuously. Perception rolls.
3.
18.
17.
You two hear a call, and the tabaxi hear it as well. So there's like this grating, loud, guttural call, kind of bird-like, from somewhere above the jungle around you, and it's answered by 2 others.
Can I roll nature to see if I can recognize what sort of animal it is?
Carlos, roll nature as well.
8.
17.
Petrafolk are, think like,
Pterodactyls.
right? Now think of them as people. DM side note, they're definitely called Terrafolk, not Petrafolk. I'm just an idiot. Back to the show. They have the wings that reach out into kind of bony clawed hands, and they have the long beaks, and they're tall and muscular, and they can fly.
Petrafolk.
What's that?
Petrafolk?
Flying bird people.
Can I roll a history to see if I've heard of anything?
Absolutely you can.
12.
You've heard some tales, not specifics, but in this land there's two types of winged creatures. There's the petrifolk that everyone fears, and there's the Arakrakra, which are feathered, eagle-like, noble creatures that are known to protect the jungle and those within it.
Arakrakra can speak, Petrifolk can't, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
They're just kind of vicious.
They're more like monsters.
Yeah, they
Okay.
have like a language they kind of speak to each other, so they kind of communicate with each other, but not a spoken language.
So, when they do a call like that, does that mean they've spotted us?
It can mean just about anything.
Anything.
I think it means we get off the river and into under some cover.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm down for that.
We're out in the open out here. The rain could pick up at any minute. Let's just take the night.
Yes, I am always down to get off the river.
Everyone roll a strength to get to the shore.
1 crit.
4.
Oh, you guys are on the same boat, right?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
12, 16, and 15.
Your canoe is just about to the shore when you hear some splashing behind you, and they're like trying to negotiate, and you're arguing back and forth like, no, this is just fine. And you're not quite putting your pedal in right, and you go to help him, but you stand up, and it shifts the whole boat. So I need dexterity saves.
6.
16.
The boat goes, you jump down, grab it, so does Flask of Wine, but you go directly into the river.
Ah! I hate the river!
I need a strength save at disadvantage because you're wearing your armor.
Yeah, I'm sinking like a brick. This is not good. 10.
You go right underwater and you are sinking. What are the rest of you doing?
Do I have a rope? What do I have?
Well, I mean, you have a rope, but it's just going to hit the top of the water, and that's the problem. It'll just float on top of the water, and he's already down.
I'm going to give one end of the rope to,
Sandella?
No, of course not. God, never. I'm giving River Mist one end, and then I put the other end in my teeth, and I dive in after it.
I would like a swim check, so roll strength.
16.
You get to him quickly, and underneath his shoulders, you're about 10 feet under at this point, and you can get him back up, but again, it's going to be a disadvantage while he's got that armor.
I'm yelling at the river, though, underwater.
Him kicking helps you as well, plus the tabaxi are pretty smart, so the very first thing River Mist did was tie that off on the end of the boat and start paddling as hard as she can. I would like you to roll strength one more time. You don't. She's going to roll because she's saving you, but you keep her from rolling at disadvantage.
10.
I need you to roll one now, too.
11
What is your constitution?
+2.
You can survive 2 rounds. You are drowning. This is round 1, and you can see like the bubbles escaping from his mouth, and you can see his eyes kind of like panicking. And you have 1 more round before you drown.
Am I dead when I drown?
Yes.
Oh!
Roll again. And I would say at this point, roll strength for the tabaxi.
13.
River Mist has it pumping pretty hard, so roll with advantage.
22.
So you just get out of the water, and you are gasping and, and coughing and hacking. And between all of you, you barely get to the shore. And as soon as you do, there's these dark shadows that appear over the river as 3 petrifolk swoop back over the tree lines.
You saved me.
You have taken on a level of exhaustion.
No.
Everybody under the tree line. Let's go. Let's go.
Pull the boats
Yeah.
up, get underneath the tree line, and you feel pretty well protected here.
Exhaustion means I have disadvantage, right?
Okay, yes, you are at level 1 to have disadvantage on ability checks.
Ability checks.
Correct.
Okay. I'm going to be real clumsy.
You can lose a level of exhaustion with a long rest.
Whew.
You saved me.
I don't want to talk about it.
I do. Thank you so much. I would have drowned and died, but you have proven to be noble. I had my doubts about you, but they are gone. I trust you and everything you say, so never lie.
I don't know. You take all those blows for us, you know? Just keep doing that and we'll be square, right?
Yes, you have my shield and my healing powers.
That's why I didn't cut your armor off to help save you. You're welcome.
The tabaxi go about building a campfire, collecting wood. Flask of Wine pulls this real thin thread out from his backpack and loops it across a couple trees about 20 feet out from where you guys have put your campsite, right on the river's edge, and hangs a couple silver bells off it, so that if someone was to walk into it, you would have a warning.
You guys are smart. Good idea.
Yes, what a fantastic idea.
Summerwind spends a full hour collecting acorns and little pieces of leaf and just forms this perfect little nest for himself.
Yeah.
So how do you all want to do watch?
I feel like you need to sleep.
Yes, I am very tired. I almost died today, but I didn't, thanks to you.
It's the least I can do to watch first, right?
Yes,
Yeah, you did tip the boat over.
you
Well-
did.
Well, the detail, just small detail. You're fine. I'll watch.
I can stay up and watch as well.
Yes, I'm sure we have a lot to talk about.
So you meditate for 4 hours a day. So you wouldn't really sleep. You're still not fully aware. You could be taken by surprise in this state.
All right.
The two of you are up and everyone else is pretty much sacked out quickly.
You know what we're doing is a noble cause, right?
Yes, very noble. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Well, beyond your father, bigger than your father, what we're doing is going to help millions of people who might be with or without their parents. You know that's what we're doing, right?
Yes, it sounds incredible. I wish I was as strong as you.
And I'm going to kind of like gently, I'm not trying to be intimidating, but I'm going to put my hand on her shoulder, be like, good, because deception breaks groups.
Definitely.
So you can tell me your intentions and we can be on the same page and I can know that I can trust you when it comes down to it. Because right now, I'm not sure.
Why? Why don't you trust me?
What are you looking for and why wasn't, bringing your father back enough?
Because many explorers have tried to find him and come up nothing. I needed to see for myself.
I was trying to roll an investigation and it was a 9.
2 parties have disappeared looking for him.
Well, I hope that your moral compass will be your guide. I just don't want to be deceived by you is all.
No.
Perception.
4.
7.
So you all are talking for a while and going back and forth, and all of a sudden there's a snap, and you realize that for the past maybe 15 seconds, there's been bells ringing.
Quiet. River Mist quickly puts her hand right over her mouth to quiet her. The bells. And River Mist looks over at Flask of Wine, who's already woken up because he heard the bells right away.
Perception.
19.
All 3 strands are going off.
Actually 20. But
All 3 strands are going off.
I'm asleep, so I don't.
River Mist looks over at Flask, has one hand cupped over Anastasia's mouth, and the other hand is outstretched. Flask throws the sword. She catches it. They're both up, looking around, scanning to see if they see anything in the night.
Everyone gets quiet, and you just hear crunching underbrush and branches shattering around you, and they're all coming, and then you just hear a moan, and you can start to see the lights in the eyes of the dozen zombies that are closing in towards you.
Up now! Everyone up!
Wake
right
up!
now!
Wake up! Wake up!
Flask of Wine comes running.
And he's got 2 short swords out.
Now he's back to back with me.
Andy picks up her bow, gets ready to climb a tree.
Mildrake instantly picks up his hammer and his shield.
Anna grabs her staff and is kind of by River Mist and Flask of Wine.
So they're closing in. They'll be upon you in the next round. They're closing in from all sides. You have 1 round to take an action before we go into initiative.
How many would we guess?
A dozen.
I have taken them before. I shall take them again.
Flask of Wine looks down at Mildrake, frothing for a fight right now. You may get your opportunity real quick, little man. Zendella scrambles to her feet from her bedroll, looks around, and she is terrified, and she runs to the group and positions herself kind of in the center. And no one knows where Summerwise is right now.
So I was injured. That's one of the reasons I need to sleep.
You didn't get a full rest, but you got a short one. Go ahead and roll a d10 and add your constitution modifier to it.
Shit! That is 4.
Okay, well, it's not a real comfortable setting in these jungles. It's hot, it's humid, there's biting insects. They just didn't get a lot of rest.
And I didn't get any of my spells back.
Got none of your spells
You
back.
guys, I might be making a dumb choice.
Oh no.
Oh dear. Well, what else is new?
So we're all
Hey!
we're all back to back.
Anastasia steps forward and positions her hands to cast Ray of Frost. I crit. Fail.
Oh. Oh.
So
Okay, so you guys were all gathered around the center, kind of near your campfire. And she went to fire a ray of frost over it, but she tripped and she just extinguished your campfire. So you are now plunged into darkness.
no. Oh no.
Maybe we should run for the canoe.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is a bad start.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zendella is already running for the canoe. Perched on one of the canoe is Summerwise.
Little hands are pushing off.
He's just like standing there like a hood ornament, like a jaguar hood ornament at the front. River Mist and Flask of Wine walks backwards as they're all running.
Everyone just roll me an athletics check because it's dark and there's a lot of underbrush.
Oh dear.
17.
8 for the little dwarf.
8 as well.
7. Zendella already moved first.
She doesn't matter. Nothing she does matters.
One day in the jungle and we're already sacrificing people.
Zendella got a 4.
You all turn to run. Zendella's already got a lead, but Zendella goes down. She just trips and falls. You guys come up behind her, you fumble for a bit, and you get her on her feet. But so 2 of the zombies kind of like lash out as you're running. One of them claws at River Mist. Does a 15 hit River Mist?
Yes.
River Mist takes 3 points of damage. The other one claws at Indy. Dead, rotting flesh just swipes right by your face.
Yeah.
You guys are at
Gross.
the canoes.
All right. Andy cuts the rope with her machete and flips the canoe up so it's on its side. It's a little barricade now. Motions for Anna and Zendala to get under it. And then she crouches down behind it with her bow.
Mildrake will be the last one on.
And he turns to face the zombie.
Okay, 2 of them are going to be on you this round if you want to hold them.
I will hold them back.
I'd like you to roll to hit the first one that comes at you.
I roll bad today. 9.
It's a little dark and you just swing a little too early and swipe right past them.
I need my 8 hours.
The first one swings and its claws just glance off your armor. The second one gets a 14.
That is a miss, for I have a shield.
Comes right for your face and you bring that shield up just in time.
River Mist cuts the other rope, and Flask is already pulling it out into the water.
We're under the canoe currently, and we flip it and we get on it.
Just roll me a strength check.
19.
That was like a 4.
That's okay. You just weren't that helpful.
Okay.
You know, like when 2 people are moving something and there's that third person who claims they're guiding it? That's kind of what you pulled off
I'm
there.
support.
It's a thought that counts, but you're better at thinking.
Right.
Yes.
So
Yes, I am.
both canoes are in the water. You guys are both getting into the canoes. And I'm going to say that they're going to get 2 swipes at you while that's happening. First one swipes at you, gets a 14.
That is a miss.
Glances off your
Shield.
shield and armor. That might still kill you, but right now is doing really well at protecting you.
Until I'm on the boat, it's great.
Ooh, Indy, does a 17 hit you? Yes, it does. Okay. So just as you're pushing off, one just scrapes along your back and you take 2 hit points of damage. But you're in the water. They're still coming, but they don't really swim and they definitely don't float. So they're just like this mass of undead, rotting flesh. And it's so hot and it's so gross here and there's so many insects. Like there are maggots falling out of them. The flesh is bubbled and swollen and gray. And they're just like in this thrashing pile.
So I made it onto the boat.
Oh, you're both on the boat. Everyone's on the boats.
Aha!
One of the 2 boats.
Anna, I want you to put your hand sanitizer on my back.
Oh, yes. Let me take a look. Oh,
Wait.
oh. Can I catch this? Are you? I'm just gonna touch you now, okay?
I don't know. We're close.
1, 2,
I'm gonna put my machete
3,
handle in my mouth.
and I'm touching your back. Here we are. I think that went well.
Have you never been hurt before?
No, it's just hand sanitizer stings.
Now I want to get off of this canoe as soon as possible. Where are we going?
Mesro. We're still going to Mesro.
Yes,
Don't think of it as a middle of the night escape. Think of it as an early start.
but I need 4 more hours of sleep, guys.
Why don't you
It's
sleep
kind
in-
of important to me.
Why don't you sleep in the canoe?
Okay, I'll just tuck myself
Just
right under
right
here.
in that nook.
Under
right-
this
yes.
front part, right next to
That's
the
right.
luggage. Oh.
Oh, he is out.
That's
He is
incredible.
entirely asleep right now.
So for the rest of the night, you guys are going further south?
Yes.
Who's in which boats together? Because we're 3 and 3, right?
You two were together.
Yes.
Zindala got to her boat first. So Zindala, Summerwise, and one of the cats, let's say Flask of Wine, are in one. You 3 and River Mist are in the other.
I think Flask would go with them because River Mist was already pulling out the canoe. I don't know where Flask was.
So it's River Mist and
Mildrake and Zendala.
and Zindala in one, the rest of you in the other one.
But
Yeah.
we just had dialogue.
I think we're next to each other.
Wait, I mean,
I'm
you're
just
not
shouting
far.
it at you.
Yeah.
Sleep.
Oh, okay, okay.
All right, so you're sleeping in the front, and you guys are just going to head down further south. It is eerily quiet. There's a thick cloud cover this evening, so the moon just occasionally peeks out. But for the most part, it's just this dull gray light. The half-elves have better vision. The dwarf has better vision. The cats certainly have better vision. Indy, to you, it's pretty inky, and you can't see more than 10 feet beyond that tree line.
She's a wood elf.
She's a
Yeah,
wood
she's
elf.
a wood elf.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry. I'm a moron. You're fine.
I'm doing
You
okay.
can, yeah, you can all. You all have some sort of night vision, right? All of you.
Everyone except for Zendala.
No, Zindilla's a.
Oh yeah, she is a half elf.
Yeah, so they
I'm
have
They have
some.
low light vision.
I have dark vision.
How dark vision works is that it kind of gives you like a white and black outline, right? So you can see pretty clearly. I'd say all of you see about 20, maybe 30 feet into the tree line, enough to see if there's anything moving.
Anna, I need you to be honest with me.
Oh, yes.
Is my back,
It's,
is it going to leave a cool scar?
Oh, yes. Absolutely yes.
You think so?
I thought you were going to ask me if it was going to be infected, and I'm thinking it will be. Yes.
Will that help it scar cooler?
Oh, yes. Infected scars definitely scar more, or wounds.
Thank you.
If it
I
starts getting
needed that.
hot, you let me know.
Oh, I'll let you know.
Who's in the front of each of the canoes? Who's watching where you're going?
River Mist. I think River Mist and Flask of Wine would be at the fronts now.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
We're just in the back, just talking.
Yeah, Flask of Wine started doing that as soon as we started
Yeah.
talking about my back.
Yeah.
She was like, "Oh my god."
Is it morning?
No, it's
Still middle of the night.
I'm a little sleepy.
How well did I do meditating back there?
really well. You're all
yeah?
set.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm great. I'm
Yeah.
doing great. Take a nap.
Oh, great. Thank you. I'm just gonna nestle myself in and
Use Mildrake as a pillow.
yes, use Mildrake as a pillow. You hear counting, and then I'm asleep. Every night I try to count to infinity, but I get to about 37 before I fall asleep.
It's a couple hours. It's very quiet. No more zombies and no more real excitement. I would like the cats to roll perception about 2 hours later.
17 and 7.
You see flasks of wine, like his claws just go up, and that's a clear signal from him. And he points towards the tree line. Glints of metal. It's about 30 feet in, roughly humanoid, kind of caught up in a tree. And there's like little glints of metal from the armor as you're sliding past.
Would they know what that is, or?
He brought the attention because he's not sure.
Hey, Flask of Wine, what's got your tail in a fluff?
All he does is point, doesn't say a word, just points towards the body.
I'm gonna roll a history to see if I know what that is. 18.
Many paladins and clerics of Tyr, Helm, Torm, and Hoa recently joined forces in an effort to form a common defense against the clear evils of the world. The Order of the Gauntlet strikes hard and fast without warning for the blessings of distant temples or the permission of local rulers. This corpse, which appears to be that of a dwarf, bears the shredded remains of a silver tabard. On its chest is an emblem of an armored gauntlet gripping a sword by the blade.
I guess that would be it.
All right.
Just roll by.
You all just slide on by.
Good thing Mildrake's asleep.
Yeah.
A couple hours later, I would say the first rays of dawn. It's hazy, the clouds are low. It's definitely threatening thunder and rain today. And you also have your spells back.
Yes, Kling-a-ding-in runs through me.
Do you pray in the morning or the evening?
My life is a prayer,
Jesus.
but definitely in the morning.
What would Mildrake do in the morning?
So he gets up and he pushes himself out of that little carrier section he was sleeping on. He wakes Anastasia up.
Get up!
Oh,
Get up!
Good,
It's
good
morning!
Good morning.
Time for prayer.
No, what?
Time for prayer.
I'm sorry. I don't understand what you just said to me.
Everybody! Everybody! Good morning! Good morning.
Good morning.
It's time for prayer.
Time for prayer.
Time for prayer.
I'm,
Everybody hold hands.
Okay,
Oh my God.
Give me
I'm
your hand.
Not.
Hey, why do you keep
entirely
pulling that
religious.
away from me?
Oh my God.
Religion isn't my bag.
Gods are real.
I mean, yes.
There's proof. There's a lot of proof.
Okay.
I don't want to get into it right now, but
Okay.
hold my hand.
Oh, all
Just
right.
hold it.
Fine,
Hold it.
fine.
How could it hurt?
Fine, just give me a second.
How could it hurt?
I'm just gonna I like hand sanitizer and okay, here.
So he grabs your hand,
Mm-hmm.
and he grabs Indy's hand.
No.
We're all in different boats.
Oh, how can I do this? You can't. Okay, shit. Who's in my boat?
The canoes could come, you can
Zendaya. I
mean,
literally reach
yeah,
across
our canoes can be parallel.
easily.
Okay, come on. Let's
And he's
put our
just been
boats next to
subtly
each other.
paddling away.
I'm sorry.
Just a little bit
Just
at a time.
come on.
What? I can't hear you.
So if you die out there,
I'll pray with you, Mildrake.
Yeah, I'll pray
sweet.
with you.
Give me your hand. By Kling-a-ding-in's beard,
By Kling-a-ding-in's beard.
Praying to a beard.
we shall thwart all the undead and raise the light of the life.
And at this moment, you feel a surge of energy go through your body as I cast guidance upon you.
Oh, I feel it. I feel it.
I does that every morning.
Feel what?
Oh my God, Mildrake, you're God.
Yes,
It's real, guys. God is real.
yes, of course. That's what I've been saying. I've dedicated my whole life to Kling-a-ding-in. How could I be wrong? I'm the smartest one here.
Listen, I'm an archaeologist. I've dug up cultures that worshipped all kinds of gods.
Yes, and
And
they're all right.
some of them follow their laws well, and some of them follow their laws terribly. But you know what happens to all of them? I wipe dust off their bones with a tiny brush. So pray to your god. But in the end, it's just gonna be someone like me trying to figure out what the runes on your armor meant.
You know, I don't know how those two things are related. We're all gonna die.
If your consequences are the same, what are you doing with your time?
I'm getting powerful.
Yeah, we're getting powerful.
I'm preaching Kling-a-ding-in's word and converting others to be just like me.
I think it's really sweet.
Yes.
I
Here, hold my hand.
Oh, okay. I'm just gonna kind of paddle the canoe so they're kind of by you. All right.
By Kling-a-ding-in's beard,
By Kling-a-ding-in's beard.
we shall thwart the zombies.
We shall thwart
Thwart the zombies
thwart the zombies
and raise the light of life.
and raise the light of life.
And you feel a surge of energy go through your body.
Ooh. Oh.
I just can't believe you'd waste all of this marketing and self-promotion on someone not you.
It's bigger than me. Even after I die, Kling-a-ding-in shall live on.
Perception.
It's 11.
I get that's a 2. I crit twice.
You go on for a little bit longer. Who else is in their boat?
Flask of wine.
Flask
Flask of wine.
That's me, right?
Yeah.
So you guys are just talking back and forth about religion and spiritual and whether or not gods are real. And Flask of Wine, his eyes kind of like, you see his tail twitch and he turns around and he looks and his eyes get really, really wide. And he points at the floor and now you're noticing like where your bags are. So there's like a thick wide rope sliding along, and you very quickly realize you're not in this boat alone. There's a boa constrictor in the middle, and it's starting to move and raise up its head.
Oh, no.
What do you
Okay.
do?
Andy grabs her machete and she aims right for its head.
Yeah,
Roll to
I
hit.
hide behind Indy.
8.
You kind of lean back, and the whole canoe tips a bit, so you don't quite get your footing, and you swipe right over its head.
Ugh.
Flask of Wine is pulling out swords and getting ready.
Snake. Why did it have to be snake?
I'm gonna try to stab it
With your dagger?
with a crossbow bolt.
Yeah, close range snake combat comes in many forms.
Exactly. 16.
16's gonna hit. I would like you to roll a die 4 and add your strength.
1.
Okay. Just a little bit of a tail is near you. Like
Yes.
the whole body is over there, but just the little tail, and you're just like, like,
Take that! Yes!
and you do 1 point of damage, and now it's pissed.
Okay.
Ah, you pinned it to the boat.
Correct.
Right.
No.
Right, now it
All
can't
right.
escape. A flask of wine gets in between Anastasia and the snake, and now that it's pinned, is going to try and take off its head. So he hits with his first blade and misses with the second one. And he cuts it deep for 9 points of damage, so he just slashes along its belly. It easily rips that arrow out and just tumbles over the edge and vanishes into the dark water.
That was exhilarating.
And don't come back.
As you guys now are deeper into the river, you're starting, I would say right about now, it's about 6 in the morning, 6:30, 7. You're getting to that bend now. So where the river goes down and then starts to bend back. And that is close-ish to where you wanted to get off, I think. Like, where do you want to get off the river?
We were going to take it a little bit.
As soon as possible.
Weren't we supposed to do something on the way to Mesro?
No, Mesro is the thing we're doing
more
on the way
jungle,
to
please.
To the thing,
The-
other thing, yes.
the
Can we
guy
get
I
off these
pickpocketed.
boats?
Yes, okay. Think that we're gonna ride the river just a little longer.
I hate this.
Hey, you have your god?
I do.
And,
And he does not like water either.
But he's protecting you, so nothing should befall you.
He
I'm
does
using
not
god.
protect me. He leads me to battle.
I'm sorry. I
That's
don't
the
really,
opposite of protecting.
I don't know how it works.
I'll teach you. Don't worry.
Well, God's aside or above, I do feel there's less lurking on the river, and we've got a much better chance of spotting it before it spots us, should we stay on it.
Okay? I just don't like it here. If I fall in there, you guys saw what happened.
Andrew would save you, like she saved you before. She's very heroic.
I don't want to talk
You
about it.
just dove right in. You grabbed him.
I don't want to talk about
That
it.
makes 2 of us.
Listen, you're a good guy. You're religious. You probably believe in some sort of consequences if you died, and I personally try to avoid consequences, so I figured, do you a solid.
Thanks.
Anna's like writing, like she's listening to them talk about this, and she's writing all of this kind of down in her book. She journals. She's a journaler.
And he ends the conversation by taking out a journal and pretending to read it. But there's just a drawing of a dinosaur in there that she did at one point. And it's labeled anatomically, but the labels just say head, leg, tail.
So you're going to spend the rest of the day on the river.
Yes.
Can you not drink the river water?
No.
A flask of wine holds a hand to his throat, doesn't say anything. Your character would know about throat leeches.
Oh.
Yeah, do
Gotcha.
not drink any water that isn't rainfall or isn't boiled.
Does it look like rain?
It definitely looks like it's going to rain.
I'm gonna set out the rain flap then.
Roll me an intelligence.
21.
Oh, yeah, you paid close. In fact, you have entire diagrams
Yes.
in your
oh,
journal.
Yes. And then we just insert this flap into that flap. Oh wow. And voila. Here you go.
Looks great.
It's perfect.
Holy moly.
You even figured out how to lock it in the back because there's little slots for the legs to go, so you can set it up right at the back of the canoe, and you're all set.
This wasn't in the original diagram, but I feel like this works.
That's incredible. The packaged instructions were all pictures. How did you... This is amazing.
It's common sense.
You're an uncommon lady.
Can we eat the fish from the river?
You can eat what you can catch.
Well, I'm not doing any fishing.
We have-
I'm not moving.
We have rations.
Yeah, but we should save those.
For when we're hungry.
Yes. And we're not close to a food source.
You want to forage? You guys want to make landfall and forage?
Well, we can try to make a net with this rope, and I'm going to try to make a fish net.
As you did that, actually, Flasco would pull out a fishnet.
Oh!
And just kind of, or.
Oh, great. Thank you.
I would say the cats would try and fish. They're good at this. So roll me a dexterity check.
19.
You guys pull the canoes kind of close together. The cats both take one end, and you dip it in so the movement of the canoes pulls the whole thing taut and just digs through the water, and they pull it back up, and you got 3 bass.
Hey-o.
Trout, right?
Sure.
Yeah, 3 trout.
Yum. Does anybody know how to cook on a boat?
So I wear spectacles. What I would like to do is to take off my spectacles and use the sunlight to start a small fire. I know we have tinder.
No fire in the boat.
What?
No fire in the boat.
What? We need fire.
It's also really heavy cloud cover right now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, boo. Okay.
Can we pull over and stop for a moment?
Sure.
There's enough clearing along the sides, absolutely.
And we'll have lunch or breakfast. I'm not sure of the time.
I would say it's going on about noon right now, so it'd be a perfect time for lunch.
Yes, lunchtime.
So we move the canoes, sail the canoes. I don't know.
Direct the canoe.
Yes.
Canoes.
Paddle. That's what I'm looking for.
So we drive the canoes to the shore. And you guys set up. Someone roll me a survival roll to get the fire going.
Indy's got a 7.
You're like,
No, like this.
And I walk
It's
over
about
with
the journey,
my
not
5, and I start poking at it too.
you're just like basically getting it muddy at this point.
Anna quietly walks over with her 16 and lights the fire.
Doesn't even bend down, just chunk and the little sparks fall and hit the tinder perfectly. And you have a nice little fire going a few minutes later.
Are you sure you've never done this before?
Oh, never in my life.
You're a natural.
Thank you.
It's because she prayed this morning.
All right.
Just saying. Coincidence?
Yes.
God.
No.
I know what I saw. And I saw her start
You
that
saw
fire.
confirmation bias. You saw what you wanted to see and it reinforced your worldview. We all do it. It keeps us happy and makes us sleep at night, all right?
I'm very happy and sleep very
Clearly.
well.
While this conversation is happening, Anna is quietly sitting next to them, gutting the fish and like preparing them for cooking.
Just roll me a knowledge of nature, just to see how well you cook.
Oh no.
4.
Wait, no. It's
Right?
a crit fail.
Oh, it is a crit fail.
Oh,
Yeah.
no. Okay. All right.
Right?
So,
You don't get anything
Oh,
on a crit
man.
fail.
Oh.
so she cleans these fish perfectly. Every single little scale is off because you hate when there's that one
Yes.
scale in there. You put them on the sticks, you set them into the fire, and then they all fall directly into the fire.
Oh.
Well, I'm going to try to get them out of the fire. They're not gone.
You fish them out.
Yeah,
get
I fish-
undone.
yeah.
And they are
Nah.
just blackened, and there's ash all like in them now because they were directly laying on the coals.
Well,
I'll still eat one.
I've had worse. It's not bugs.
It's well done. You're very, very sure about that. Everyone eats? All right. And then everyone drinks water. And a few minutes later, it just opens up. The 2 cats are already like turning the canoes onto the side because they'll swamp within 10 minutes.
Well, I'm gonna forage for food. And he walks into the just around the tree line. She's not gonna do going too far. Everybody's still within an eye shot, near shot. She just kind of pokes around to see what might be around.
Roll me a survival.
Summerwise follows her.
13.
There's only about 10 feet of bank, but you're able to get kind of like right along the tree line, and you're looking and you're looking. You're not really seeing anything. Like there's a little squirrel, then you definitely catch the eye of a monkey, but nothing's quite lining up. And then you just hear a thump, thump, heavy footsteps, probably 200 feet straight into the jungle.
That's not my tummy.
That's not my tummy.
Did you just repeat me?
No, I was telling you exactly. Just look. What is that?
It's getting louder.
Do you hear that? You obviously hear
Oh,
that.
absolutely.
Do something. You're the tall.
All right, fine. And she climbs up a tree. She climbs up to the top of the tree and she kind of peers around to see what she can see.
Roll me athletics.
14.
So you just scamper up that tree, get about 20, 30 feet up, and you can just see like the tops of some of the trees in front of you kind of swaying. And then there's like one of them just snaps and falls, and it's about maybe 100 feet away, but there's something very large coming towards you.
Oh boy.
It's a good thing we're in this tree.
All right, you're faster than me. Get back to camp. Tell everybody something's coming.
What will you do?
I don't know.
What does Summerwise do?
Summerwise looks right at her, cocks his head a little bit, and then flies off in the opposite direction, back to camp.
Endy is clambering down the tree very slowly, and she's gonna try and see if she can like ascertain what it is and get kind of a little bit closer to it.
So you start creeping up as Summerwise darts back into the camp.
Summerwise lands right on Mildrake's shoulder. Your friend's in the woods alone.
Oh no! How did I not notice? To Indy!
And as soon as you shout that, there's a roar.
Oh, that's not my tummy. I just ate.
That's not my... Hey, wait a second.
Cut back to Indy. You hear a guttural scream, definitely of a large creature, and it is now coming towards you faster. There's a thoom, thoom, and trees are just being knocked to the side and swaying maybe 50 feet away.
So it's coming towards me.
Yes.
And I can hear the crash, and like there's a bunch of trees falling in the underbrush. So I run off to the left, kind of south along the coastline, sort of, like parallel to the river. And I get out of its path, but still kind of close enough I might be able to see it. And then I climb like the most stable-looking tree I can find.
Roll stealth. 20. As soon as you get to that top, right at that edge, there's a crash and the trees and brush part, and a dinosaur definitely was a T-Rex, but its flesh is rotting and bones are poking out through the sides. Its eyes are just these glowing hot coals that stops right where you were. Its head lowers and it kind of sniffs along the ground. Its rotting flesh just ripples along its face, and it leans back and it roars. And in its maw is just a dozen corpses, zombies that are flailing and clawing and it just keeps chewing and biting on them, but it's not food, it can't eat, it's just mindlessly going, and you're just seeing bodies fall out that are still moving and twitching.
Oh, Anna's gonna be mad about this.
Mildrake's running in that direction.
And are you being stealthy at all?
No.
So you see the head of this thing start to swing towards you, and then you hear a very loud, just clang, 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 roar, bike like an experience. This is like the loudest possible thing, and it just turns and starts running that way. I would like a perception roll from you.
Indy!
Off!
Dwarf man, please be quiet as we approach.
Starting now.
Well, stop saying that and just
No,
be quiet.
starting now. I'll be quiet.
Just be quiet.
I'm quiet now.
What?
It's quiet time. 20.
Okay, so as you're arguing about quiet time, you definitely hear this thing smashing towards you, and at this point you can see it break through the tree line.
Jeez!
Oh,
Why did you tell me this thing was coming?
I didn't. And he gets up and he flies away. he leaves Mildrake's shoulder and just flies away.
When Mildrake and Summerwise were speaking, was that a quiet time between them?
No, they
or-
were very loud. I mean, everyone would have heard it, right?
Mildrake
Okay.
yelled.
I
Yeah.
think so, yeah.
Okay.
Mildrake was basically
Well, he yells a
screaming,
lot.
our friends need help, and went running into the jungle, so I assume everyone saw that.
Correct. I am prepping the boat. Yes.
Smart.
But it's still raining, right?
It is raining, but it is beginning to like level off. You could definitely set out in the rain now.
Yes, I am prepping the boat.
And I think River Flask is helping you.
River.
Wait, I think Flask of Wine is helping you. Sorry.
Indy, fear not, for I have my shield and my hammer and my Klingadingen spirit. We will defeat this thing. I don't know where you are, but I know you're around here somewhere.
Are you holding your ground as this thing is charging you?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
He pulls it out. He's trying to get India like a route of escape.
Yeah. Okay. I want initiative.
Oh no.
I got a 7.
I got a 13.
Okay, so you see a undead T-Rex vomiting zombies closing down on Mildrake. What do you do?
He's also yelling your name. Looking around for you.
Endy makes this sound, ugh. And she takes her machete and she cuts a large tree branch off of the tree she's on. And it falls to the ground with a crash. And as she immediately bolts to the next tree, she like leaps like a squirrel from tree to tree trying to get away from that sound.
I want a strength check and then an athletics check.
Strength is 21.
I mean, with like superhuman, like hack, and the second hack, you're through that branch.
16.
As the rain begins to stop and one little band of light hits you just in between those trees, and boom, you're on the next one.
Summerwise sees this, and he's in the air, and he cocks his head, and then he swoops in to meet her at that tree. Impressive.
You were supposed to get them to run.
I brought the little one.
That's not who I wanted.
He seems the most capable.
Get him out of here.
I'm really hoping that you both pull through on this one.
Well, your support is very much appreciated. I have a fan club, and you can mail the leader of it. I'll give you the address. Not now, though!
He's just like staring intently at the T-Rex and Mildrake. He's that meme of Michael Jackson sitting in the theater eating popcorn. That's what Summerwise is right now.
So that branch crashes down through several others, makes a cacophony of noise as it clambers to the ground. The T-Rex is closing, but it hears it, and its like head kind of snaps to the side. You have a moment now.
I would like to roll perception to see if I saw Indy make this move. 14.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, she was in sunlight. It was obvious. Yeah, you definitely saw her leap to that other tree. And you saw her cut the branch as well, and you saw that the T-Rex looked towards where the branch fell.
Barrel roll time.
Summerwise looks over at Indy. What does he mean by barrel roll time?
He means he's going to do something stupid.
Oh. He looks back over.
Here's what I want to do. I want to uppercut the dinosaur with my hammer. And then,
Where? Wait, where do you
like,
want to
under
uppercut
his
it?
jaw,
His
right?
kneecap? It's a
How
T-Rex.
tall do you think you are?
Shh, don't say that to a dwarf.
Where you are right now as
Yeah.
a dwarf, that would be his kneecap, like right there.
Oh, I was hoping I could jump and hit him on the bottom of
Like
the
a
head.
Mario move.
Because of all the vertical leap that dwarves have.
Okay. Well, that's why I asked. I'm not going to hit him then. I want to look and see if there's a low level of ground where I could just roll under a log.
Oh, sure. I mean, it's uneven and there's crap everywhere. There's definitely a bunch of fallen logs you could duck behind or even squeeze into.
So I'm going to do a sweet barrel roll.
I would like you to roll athletics. Are you at disadvantage because of your armor?
That
No.
is up to the DM.
No, you're only in a chain shirt, right?
I'm in chainmail, baby.
Okay. I'll let you get away with it this time. Go ahead and roll.
17.
It actually looks good. Describe what you do.
Yeah, so the dinosaur is not paying attention to me.
So I tuck my head into my shoulders and just roll as hard as I can. I'm just a force of small energy crushing into the trees and under some foliage.
And you do just kind of burst through them, and then they just form back over you. So you're in this thick layer deep underneath it. Are you two moving at all?
Did I see him take cover or did I miss that?
Absolutely, you saw
All right. So I've seen him take cover. I really want to get out of here, but I don't want you to die because I invested so much in saving you the first time. It's very upsetting. She finds some leaves that aren't quite wet. She takes out her flask and she takes as much as she can take in one sip, and she starts just splashing it on everything that looks flammable. And she takes out the flint and she says, "How did Anna do this? How did she do this?" And she starts striking it like desperately into as much of a blaze as she can.
Roll me a survival.
No.
16.
Mildrake, roll me a stealth.
Nat 20.
The T-Rex stops. It gets real quiet and like just lowers its mouth and starts to just look across the ground. And you see the head roll right above him. And the mouth kind of opens and like there's these clawing, horrible zombies just flailing everywhere as it passes open. And right then, spark, and the tree goes up.
And Eddie runs for the beach!
I would like an athletics.
16.
Describe how you dismount the tree.
She's lit all the canopy of the tree around her, and she slides kind of down the tree, and she's holding the flask as she does, so she creates a line of alcohol down the trunk of the tree, and then she empties the rest of it and jumps out of the way, and there's a pile of leaves, and they just ignite behind her, and she dive rolls out of the way and starts sprinting through the forest towards the beach.
You're going to run directly past Mildrake.
Summerwise is in another tree on a tree branch, popping berries in his mouth. His eyes are wide, and he's just in awe of like how cool everything looks right now. Oh man.
So you see this huge bonfire go up, and you see Indy running right towards you.
I stick my arm up into the air, like underneath the ground.
And she grabs it by the wrist and pulls it with her.
You two are up running. The T-Rex, fire in its eyes. There's fire spreading around it. It seems lost and unsure, and eventually just snorts, spits out one more zombie, turns back towards the tree line, and thumps away.
As we're running, I say,
We're even now.
What?
I shaved you.
You endangered yourself. I was fine.
I distracted it so you could make your getaway.
Whatever makes you sleep at night, man.
Summerwise goes flying right past them as they're having this conversation. Impressive, tall ones, impressive. And he just soars right past them.
Endy and Mildrake hit the beach, and Endy's just like, boats, 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 boats!
And the boats are prepped and perfect and primed to go. Anna is writing and chatting with Zendella on the boat. Everybody's on the boat. Oh, you're back.
Anna, journal! Dinosaurs could be zombies!
Get the boat!
What?
Get the boat! What? Oh my gosh.
I hate boats.
and he jumps in.
Where were you, mister? Watching the show.
And you all set off again. Thank you for joining Neon Rival Presents for episode 4 of our run through the Tomb of Annihilation. Our cast includes Carlos Luna, Surena Marie, and Patrick O'Rourke from the Dungeon Rats, and our new cast member, Gwen Agnew. The show was produced and edited by myself, Aram Vartian. For more information about Tomb of Annihilation, as well as the other shows we produce, check out our podcasting collective at neonrival.com. We'll see you next time for more adventures in the jungles of Chult. Here's hoping everyone, or anyone, makes it out alive.